Recording started.
Okay, this session is to sort of clarify or discuss what we were going over this morning regarding view components and partial views. This really helps with like a dashboard introduction, like your home page where you can have multiple components to the view. So that's the main benefit of having view components, partial views. And the reason that our discussion, the code broke down was in MVC, you tend to hear that if you go to talk to any practitioner or go to a conference, they'll keep talking about convention over configuration. So that really is what broke the code this morning, or broke the application. So I'll show you what's happening if I were to run this. And this is actually, I'm finding it a little bit hard to sort of fathom that it would break for this reason. So if I run this, and the error that I'm getting is that it seems to be that the view component not contain, it's not even clear the error message, not contain a class name ending with the view component suffix. So it seems to be complaining that having this view component in the name of the class, the view component class, is a problem, which is sort of a little hard for me to understand why that would be considered a problem. So one of the two changes that you have to make is just highlight or just delete this view component from the name view component. So this is the view component that we were creating under the view components directory. I remember I created a directory under the application root. So we called it course summary view component. So go in, delete this view component, and when you delete it, you basically should rename course summary view component to course summary everywhere it occurs. So the easiest way to do it is through this rename here. So you can see it will rename this, the constructor, and everywhere else that it is referenced. Also would recommend changing the C# file name to the same as the class name, which is course summary. So remove the view component part. Okay, so we are left with course summary for the class name. Now, if I were to run this now, so that's one change that is needed, changing course summary view component to course summary. And the second change you can see is it's saying that the default .cshtml that we created is not found, and it was searching under views, home, components, course summary, default.cshtml. Now, what I had here, and I have to make this clear here, so views, so I had view components, and then course summary. By the way, this also I had changed over here from course summary view component to course summary. So this was course summary. Here it's saying that it is looking in components, and what I had called this was view components under home. So this has to be changed to, renamed to components. Okay. So if you make this change, so the two changes, and maybe this third, I don't remember this. This has to be course summary, which is the name of the class. So it can't be course summary view component here. It has to be just course summary, and this directory path to the partial view home. It should be components, not view components, and then course summary. Okay. So now if I were to run this, okay, so it works. Now this is obviously not looking very clean, but you can see those two changes. I will go back in and make some changes to the view with the styling so that it looks a little cleaner, and also set up a link. But you can see that it is the conventions, that very simple convention changes. So course summary view component needs to be renamed to course summary, and then the path to the default view goes through home components instead of view components, course summary instead of course summary view component, and then you can find default here. So it is as simple as this. So again, you have to be careful about the convention. So I will sort of again review the path that we took to get to this. The first was the view model, course summary view model, okay, which we set up with number of courses offered. And then from the view model, we created a directory for the component, view component. So let's see, we're right here, course summary. Now this should not have the suffix view component, so inside of it I've created the constructor, and then this one method which returns a view component result. It's called invoke. So this is the name of this method, and basically it goes through the list, getting the course offerings list, and then provides a count for the count of the two different number of courses, and then we return the view. So this is the second, the component, the view component. So I used a view model and then a view component. The third item is I basically go down under home components, course summary, the path, and then call the default. Okay, so this is the default view, which references the course summary view model and displays the basic table. Okay. Now, what I'm going to add is, to make it just a little better, I'm going to sort of say that sort of format it slightly. So I will add in, also add in a link from here. So I'm adding another row and a cell that spans both the columns, and this is going to consist of an anchor, so a link that says ASP controller. So this is going to go to course offering changes, and this is going to, I want this to be listing all my I'm sorry, it's going to not be course offering changes. It's going to be it's a list of course offerings, so it's going to be search course offerings. I'm sorry. So it is this place that I'm going to. So I want course offerings and then search course offerings combined. Okay, so the controller is course offerings, and the ASP action is search course offerings combined. Okay, now so controller action, and then I need to provide the text that shows up as a link. So I have to say course offerings. I'll just say search. And I close the tag, so this is pretty much if you want to see. Okay, open the anchor, close it here. Okay, so now if I save it, okay, so this will sort of improve, like it's basic still. I don't have any borders, so I'll go back up here to the table and say this is going to be like a class, which is a table. I'll just say like a table has a border. And also, well, I guess it's going to be a small table, so I guess I'll use this formatting. And if I go back here to home, I sort of have a slightly better format. And if I click on this, I have a semicolon somewhere over. I guess it must be in the index that right here. I guess I don't need that semicolon end of it. If I save that, this will disappear right there. Okay, and this obviously takes me to the course offering search. Okay, and these are morning courses, total courses. Let's see if I got that correct. Both of them the same number. Let's see, course summary view model. In my course summary, okay, and then I go to default number of courses. So it seems as though I have the same number of courses, total number, and so it seems as though everything is offered in the morning. Okay, what's the other piece? The index that is receiving it. Okay, I have the courses as the header. I should remove this where it says dashboard goes here. I had just kept it as a placeholder. Right, so I need to get rid of that. So I'll change this to a smaller header. And then I will also, I seem to have something which says view. So I should go to my default and see it's just saying view over here. So I don't want that header which says view, so I'll get rid of that. And then, okay, if I basically it brings it down here, and then I can also give it a background that that is a little, well, if you want to give something that's different, you can go to the index and then set the background of the div tag to be slightly different. So I'll I can, for example, say the class is something like BG background primary color. So if I save this here, go back to my browser, so you can see that this shows up. But of course, my link sort of disappeared. Probably should make this into some other color. Let's see. This is where my like of class equals color background color. Trying to see what I can do here. Background. Oh, pink. Oh. Okay, I'm just going to see anything that I can do to change this color class so that it makes it more visible. Class font color. Yes, I need to have it as something different. Can I have it as white? Not sure if that's considered to be correct. Oh, okay. So this, I need to figure out how to change the link. So I'm not going. This is not working. It was obviously my CSS skills are not very good. So I'm going to sort of figure out some better background for that to show the link. Currently, it's not showing up very well. So let's see, is there anything that can use? So there is text left. Okay, so let's see. Text. I think it's called class text. Class. So I'll put that there. Class text. A class. Okay. It's class equals text. Text. Say left. And PG. Let's see. Let's say something like BG info. Something different. Let's see. This is background. Some different background. Let's see if this helps me see it. Okay. At least it's allowing me to see it now. And if I click on it, it should take me there. Okay. So what I would like for you to try is, so this is a Vue component for courses. So if you could try to go through that same 4-step process for the second view model, that is the changes summary view model, for which we had these 3 properties. Okay, so that would be the first step. What's the second step? The second step would be to go to View Components, okay, and add a View component. So you'd have to refer to the View component here. Course summary. Remember that you don't want your View component to have View component as the suffix. So you would have to read in access the database and then use the invoke method to build up your View component. So that's the second step. The third step would be you would have to go into your view, and under Home, under Components, instead of Course Summary, it would be whatever you've decided to name your class, View Component class, and that should probably be something like Changes Summary, I guess is what we called it. Yeah, Changes Summary View Model. So it will be something like Changes Summary that you build up, and then that's the name of the folder under Components. So default this time will refer to the Changes Summary View Model, and then it'll have the 3 properties of Changes Summary. Okay, these 3 properties. And finally, so that's going to be referred to in the default. So this is the default component, and here, instead of going to Search Course Offerings Combined, you could have a link that goes to Changes. Okay, so List Course Offering Changes, it could go there, and so that would be the default for the Changes Summary. And finally, you would go into Index, and you would set up another div. So instead of this time being, let's say, like change the color from primary to, let's say, info or something like that, so that it contrasts it. And obviously, instead of invoking the course summary, you will have to invoke the Changes Summary. Of course, if I just run it as is with Course Summary, I think I can just go back here and click on Home. You can see that it just repeats it. So now, obviously, if I change this, so I would have a second. This would, instead of being called courses, this will be called changes, and all of this will be controlled in this default view over here. Okay, so this is, so you can see how you will have multiple components, multiple sub-views as making up one large view, and that's what we will have as a home view instead of having something generic. Okay. So hope you try this out, and then I'll discuss this Thursday. I said I won't be here, so I'll most likely I'll be teaching it online. You can, I highly recommend that you come to the lab. Abdul Rahman will be projecting it on the screen, and you can discuss with your group and hopefully apply this on your project. Okay, that's about it.